Welcome back to the online sessions on AEC. So in the previous session, we have done with this derivation for the input output resistances and gain of a current series feedback connection. Okay. So in the case of current series feedback connection, what could be the output resistance? The output resistance is going to be high output resistance. Why? Because it involves current sampling. Because it involves current sampling, output resistance is going to be high. Because it is series mixing, input resistance is also going to be high. Okay, so that means output resistance will be high means what? ROF should be equal to RO into 1 plus A beta. Series mixing means what? Input resistance should increase. So therefore, RIF is equal to RI into 1 plus A beta. And what about the expression for the gain, closed loop gain? General formula is going to be A by 1 plus A beta. So as it is going to be current series feedback, output is current, input is going to be voltage. Therefore, we can have a transconductance amplifier. So we transform the amplifier, we transform the transistor into a transconductance amplifier configuration. So therefore, I can say this as GM. So what is the gain equation that I can write here as A or GMF is equal to Gm by 1 plus Gm into beta. So that is the gain equation that we will be getting. So we have proved all of them in the previous class. The closed loop gain GMF is equal to Gm by 1 plus Gm into beta. And input impedance is normally going to increase. RIF is equal to RI into 1 plus Gm into beta. Output resistance, because it is series mixing. Sorry, output resistance. Input resistance is increased because it is series mixing. Output resistance is normally going to increase because it is sampling current is getting sampled, so therefore output resistance are also going to increase by 1 plus gm into beta. The last configuration is that current shunt feedback connection. Current shunt means what? Output is current sampling, input is shunt mixing, so therefore it is going to be output is current, it is also going to be form of a current, so therefore it is the gain can be written as equal to output current by input current. So this I naught is because of output current is sampled from the output terminals. IA is nothing but input current increases because of shunt mixing, right? So what is the gain that we will be getting? Obviously current gain AI, right? So AIF is equal to what we can write? AI by 1 plus AI into beta is the equation that you're going to get. So as it is a current sampling and the feedback is a negative feedback amplifier. So now we draw this particular schematic diagram of the current shunt feedback configuration. So if you see the diagram for current shunt feedback configuration, what is that we'll be having here? See here it is current shunt feedback. That means output should be taken as current. So since output is taken as current, we replace the output circuit by a current source such that I naught is the current value, R naught is the internal resistance of the current source. And next it is shunt mixing, so therefore it is applied like a shunt mixing. So this is was shunt mixing basic diagram where there is going to be shunt mixing. Shunt mixing, we understand that if Is is the source current, so one current should go into the input of the transistor, another current should go into the beta network. That means there is a division in the current. So in the case of parallel connection only, you are normally going to have a division in the current. So that's the current we normally going to have it here. So we normally going to have it here. Okay. So what is the current gain equation here? AI is equal to I naught by II. We can write I naught is the output current. II is the input current across the input terminals of the transistor. Beta is equal to output current is IF. Input current is going to be equal to I naught. So this is the schematic diagram which we have just simply drawn it here. Okay. So now from the diagram, once again, we go back for the derivative part. Now this is going to be the derivative part of the equation. Now here the mixing is done at the input side, sampling is always done at the output side, which you already know. So because it is negative feedback amplifier, the input current is equal to difference of the source current minus the feedback current. Basic definition for negative feedback amplifier. AF is equal to, now what is A? A is nothing but output current of the amplifier by input terminal current of the amplifier. What is AF? It is output current by the overall input current. That means source current. IS is the overall input current. So I naught by IS. What is IS from this equation? IS is equal to IA. I'll take this IF onto LHS side. So IA plus IF I can write is equal to I naught by II plus, what is IF? Beta times I naught is IF. So I can write this equation. So from this equation, what about I naught? I naught is equal to AI into II. So therefore, I replace I naught by AI into II. So here I have II, always numerator, denominator. So from the denominator, I can take II common. These two will get cancelled. II will get cancelled. We left over with AI by 1 plus AI beta. So that is the closed loop gain general equation that we have got. The next input resistance. For input resistance, we already know the basic current equation IS is equal to II plus IF. So from this, we try to get so as usual IF will represent as beta times I naught. IF is equal to beta times I naught from this gain of the beta network plus II as it is. So II I can write as equal to VI by RI. II I can write as equal to voltage by resistance. Current is equal to. So IS is equal to what we can have now here as I naught. I naught is equal to AI into II. So I substitute for AI into II. So II, what about II? II is nothing but VI by RI. So I have VI by RI I can take common. So I can write this as 1 plus A beta into VI by RI is equal to IS. So IS by VI I can write as equal to 1 plus A beta by RI. So when you inverse these two, I can get VI by IS equal to RI by 1 plus A beta. So what is voltage by current? It is resistance. Therefore, RIF is equal to RI by 1 plus A beta, where A becomes equal to current gain. Then similarly, output impedance, we applied we apply KCL at the output terminals. At the output terminals, if we apply KCL, that means this is the output terminal that we normally going to have it here. So this output terminal means, see, this is the current which is going into the transistor is I naught, because when you replace this transistor by a two-port network, the current, the collector current will be coming into the transistor. So that current is I naught we have taken. So this is the current I naught. The current is leaving from this particular node, and this current is, sorry, if you consider some node over here, the current I naught for this is simply entering it. The current going into the transistor is entering into this. That means it is leaving the node. And this current is also leaving the node. Okay. So that means here we can apply the KCL equation. Some of the currents entering the junction is equal to some of the currents leaving the junction. Okay. Okay. So that means here what we can have it here. So here output voltage is nothing but equal to V naught by RL. Output voltage is equal to V naught. So from V naught, I can write V naught is equal to I naught into RL. So I naught is equal to V naught by RL. That is the output current from the going through this particular load resistance RL. Okay. So from the above equation, what we can have now, let us try to get this equation. So I naught is the current. If you take current going into the transistor, then AI into II is the current because of the output current gain, because of the output current gain. See here, one is going to be I naught is the output current, V naught by R naught. What is this V naught by R naught? See, well, across the resistance R, we are going to have the current called as V naught by R naught, I naught, and next is A into II. See, there are the current, something like one current is going into RL, another current is this current, another current is current flowing through R naught. Three currents are normally there. So when you go with these three currents, how these currents are really flowing through? So current entering into the node is taken as minus, current leaving the node is going to be taken as plus. So this I naught is leaving the node into the load resistance. And other currents is AI into I naught. What is I naught here? I naught I can write as equal to AI into II. So that's what I write in A into II plus V naught by R naught. So this is the simple KCL equation which we can write. So from this KCL equation, I naught is equal to V naught by R naught. AI into what is II? Because of negative feedback, I can write IS minus IF. So IS is taken as approximated to 0 to calculate the output impedance. So as usual, IS, that is the source current, is taken as equal to 0 to find our output impedance. So this factor goes into 0, IS goes into 0. We left over with I naught is equal to V naught by R naught minus AI into IF. So therefore I can write I naught is equal to V naught by R naught minus A into IF. What is IF? IF is equal to beta times I naught from the feedback network. So I got I naught here on the LHS. I have I naught here on the RHS side. So I'll take this factor onto the left hand side. So I can take I naught common. 1 plus A beta is equal to V naught by R naught. So what is the resistance? It is voltage by current. So V naught by R naught is equal to R naught into this, I can write by cross multiplying these two. So the output resistance with feedback we have got as equal to R naught into 1 plus A beta. So because it is a current sampling, output resistance should increase. So it is increasing. Because it is shunt mixing, input resistance should compulsorily decrease. So it is decreasing. So therefore we satisfy the condition for the current and feedback configuration for writing the parameters of the amplifier. The next important concept is very important concept is going to be bandwidth of a negative feedback amplifier. What is nothing but bandwidth? Bandwidth is nothing but the range of frequencies, the range of frequencies over which the gain of the amplifier is going to be equal to or greater than the 3 dB gain of the amplifier, or half power gain of the amplifier is known as bandwidth in general. So bandwidth of an amplifier is achieved after finding out the output voltage for a range of input signal frequencies. So already we performed this experiment of an amplifier. When you perform an experiment amplifier, how you perform? You have to draw the graph between the input frequencies and gain. What is gain? Output by input. So input voltage will take a small voltage value in terms of something like less than 1 millivolts. Then once we take the small voltage, input voltage, because of amplifier action, it has to amplify the input signal from millivolts to some volts. Because of that, we can say that it is working like an amplifier. Now to perform this, what we'll do now, we keep the input voltage fixed or a constant, and we vary the input frequency from 10 hertz to around 1 megahertz. So, and we'll find out the various output voltages, and we find out gain output by input continuously, where input is always constant, but output is going to change based on the frequencies we apply. And we normally going to plot the performance uh, performance characteristic curve for the amplifier. The bandwidth of an amplifier is defined as the range of frequency over which the gain of the amplifier is equal to or just greater than the 3 dB gain of the amplifier. This is the definition of the amplifier. That means here the gain of the amplifier can be defined from this particular figure. The gain of the amplifier is defined as the range of frequencies over which, range of frequencies means f2 minus f1, range of frequencies over which the gain of the amplifier becomes the gain of the amplifier becomes equal to or just greater than, becomes the gain of the amplifier just becomes equal to or greater than the 3 dB gain of the amplifier. So R, the bandwidth of an amplifier is defined as the range of frequency over which the gain of the amplifier is equal to or greater than 1 by root 2 times of the maximum gain of the amplifier shown. So if maximum gain is AV taken, 1 by root 2 times of maximum gain is nothing but the is nothing but the half power gain. What is bandwidth now? Bandwidth is nothing but the range of frequencies over which this gain is going to remain constant, is called general bandwidth. So increase in bandwidth, the bandwidth of an amplifier increases due to negative feedback connection. That is the advantage. Because of negative feedback configuration or connection, the bandwidth of an amplifier is going to increase. Now we have to prove how it is going to increase. Now for a proper design of a negative feedback amplifier, there is a condition now. It is necessary that the product of voltage gain of an amplifier with and without feedback should remain constant. That means the gain bandwidth product. See, the gain bandwidth product of an amplifier, the gain bandwidth of an amplifier should be compulsorily same. With before and after the feedback connection, it should be same. Now we'll hold on that particular condition to go with the gain to find out the bandwidth of an amplifier. So gain of the amplifier with feedback, bandwidth with feedback is made equal to open loop gain of the amplifier and bandwidth without feedback of an amplifier. So in general, what we can write, gain of the amplifier, closed loop gain of the amplifier with negative feedback, A by 1 plus A beta, bandwidth with feedback as it is, into open loop gain is A itself, bandwidth is going to bandwidth. So AA will get cancelled. The bandwidth with feedback becomes equal to BW into 1 plus A beta. That means the bandwidth of an amplifier with feedback is increasing by a factor of 1 plus A beta. This is an important conclusion. So bandwidth of an amplifier with feedback increases by a factor of 1 plus A beta. Hence we conclude that the upper cutoff frequency F2 because of feedback becomes equal to F2 times 1 plus A beta, and lower cutoff frequency of an amplifier with feedback, that is called F1, becomes equal to F1 by 1 plus A beta. That means for the effective operation, the upper cutoff frequency should increase and lower cutoff frequency should decrease than the cutoff frequencies which we will be getting without any feedback to the amplifier circuit. So these conditions are very important for an amplifier gain. Next are going to be the applications of the negative feedback amplifier, where we normally use this negative feedback amplifiers. The negative feedback amplifiers are used wherever we require larger bandwidths, and they are used in basically transmitters and receivers of a radio or a television for gain stability, used in satellite communication. Negative feedback amplifiers used in satellite communication, used in radio receivers and filter circuits, used in the control system to achieve stability in gain, used in the radio receivers. Okay, and used in this negative feedback can be used in control systems to achieve stability in gain of the control system. What are the other disadvantages? The only one disadvantage is that the reduction in gain is reduced than the positive feedback amplifier. So gain can be improved later on also. So decreasing gain is not a bigger problem, because if you put some more amplifiers in series, the gain definitely going to get increased. So we are not going to bother about gain. We have to bother about only the bandwidth of an amplifier. Okay. What are the advantages of negative feedback? The negative feedback amplifier, this is the first and foremost advantage, stabilizes gain of the amplifier. Because of negative feedback, the output signal is going to get stable. Input increases input impedance and decreases output impedance for certain feedback topologies. So for impedance matching property, input resistance should be more, output resistance should be less. So using the negative feedback, it can fulfill that condition. So in which type of topology this condition is holds good? Increases input impedance and decreases output impedance. Where the input impedance will increase? Series mixing. If you go with series mixing, input impedance is going to increase. Now for what type of sampling, output resistance decreases? If it is voltage sampling, that means the amplifier which we can form is going to be voltage dependent voltage source. Means what the topology is going to be voltage series topology is being used. So this is what the various things we going to have. The next one is operating point or Q point is always stabilized because of the negative feedback amplifier circuit. Okay. So these are the advantages of a negative feedback amplifier circuit. So the advantages are important, disadvantage is only one. So that is also important. Applications of feedback amplifier is important, and bandwidth equation, because this will be asked in the problems to find out the upper cutoff frequency f2 of f and lower cutoff frequency f1 of f due to the negative feedback configurations. So therefore these conditions are very very important. So you should please practice all this by taking running notes, and these derivations are very very important. So the derivations you have to solve if it are asked in the exam. Otherwise you should be in a position to remember the final formulas so that you can use them in the problems. In the case of problems, data will be given to us. You have to simply substitute the values in the problems. So therefore, values in the given formulas you have to substitute for doing the problems. So that's the reason why this subject is going to be typical, because you have to practice more. You should try to remember the outcomes after your practice. Not even though not many, but at least for negative feedback amplifiers you should remember. At least in the case of first unit you should remember about the expression for current gain, voltage gain, overall current gain, overall voltage gain, input resistance, output resistance, formulas you have defined derived in the very beginning unit. So those formulas also really very important for us. And next formulas are going to be conversions from CE to CC and from CE to CB, or vice versa. So these two are the two varieties of problems which we may get in the end exam. Okay, so therefore these are all the very very important conclusions which we can make from this gain of the amplifier. And in the very beginning class of feedback amplifiers, we discussed about the differences between the various amplifiers. What are the differences we have find? Those differences are also very very important for the examination point of view. So what are the differences we have, and mathematically we should prove those differences. In the next session we try to prove these mathematical derivations. So these are nothing but differences between the two amplifiers called as positive and negative feedback amplifiers. In the case of negative feedback amplifier, the gain is going to decrease by 1 plus a beta, where we can write AF is equal to A by 1 plus a beta. In the case of positive feedback amplifier, the gain is going to increase, okay, by 1 minus a beta, so that we can write gain of the amplifier with positive feedback and beta is equal to a minus a by 1 minus a beta. So what is the conclusion that I am making here? In negative feedback amplifier, the gain decreases, sorry. In the case of negative feedback amplifier, the gain decreases by a factor of 1 plus a beta. Hence in negative feedback, the overall gain definitely will decrease. In the case of positive feedback amplifier, the gain with feedback increases by a factor of 1 minus a beta. Hence in positive feedback, overall gain with feedback is going to increase. This is a very important conclusive remark for differences. Negative feedback amplifier provides stability in gain. So this question has been asked in exam for 2 marks and also 5 marks. So for 5 marks, you have to derive the equation. You have to derive the mathematical, you have to provide the mathematical proof. He said, then in negative feedback amplifiers, the gain stability is improved. Justify the statement. So justify means what? You should support this statement with a mathematical equation. Then only we can say that we will be justifying. So that justification we will do in the next session. So currently let us go with these differences. So negative feedback amplifier provides stability in gain. The output signal is going to be more stable. Coming to positive feedback, no gain stability will be there in the positive feedback. Difficult to achieve gain stability. And also it is very difficult to achieve gain stability in the case of the positive feedback amplifier. That means the positive feedback amplifier is going to be highly unstable type of the amplifier. That is what important thing. The next, reduction in the magnitude of gain, same thing here. Decrease in gain of the amplifier, reduction in gain of them, both are same. Increases in magnitude of gain. Next important point is reduction in noise. In the case of negative feedback amplifier is going to reduce the noise levels at the output. So therefore it gives a reduction in noise at the output side. Positive feedback, no reduction in noise. The next is reduction in distortion in negative feedback. Negative feedback supports reduction in distortion. Positive feedback, no reduction in the distortion. Distortion means, please remember that the shape of the amplifier, the shape of the output signal of the shape of the output signal from an amplifier is going to be little bit different with the shape of the input signal. In case distortion is going to be more. If distortion is zero, or the shape of the output signal is going to be exact replica of the shape of the input signal, means what? Distortion is zero. So for zero distortion, the input shape will be simply preserved in the output side. If distortion is there, the input signals, the shape of the input signal is normally going to get distorted at the output side. That is what called distortion. Then next is reduction in noise. So that also going to be there, reduction in noise in negative feedback. Noise means what? You're normally going to get some hum sound in the output of the amplifier circuit. Next difference is used in small signal amplifiers. Yeah, negative feedback amplifiers are used in small signal amplifiers. That is, application is what? Where we use small signal amplifier applications, we use negative feedback amplifiers. Coming to positive feedback amplifiers are used in oscillators. The important application is oscillators. See, I put it a double star. That is an important application. Here also I put some double stars. Stability in gain double star. So therefore that is a very, very important concern for us. Then I put some more stars here. That is also important. So it increases the input impedance and decreases output impedance for a voltage series amplifier circuit to support. One more point I would extend here, to support impedance matching. So negative feedback amplifier supports impedance matching. As it is a direct feedback or regenerative feedback, input and output resistances are not of concern for the feedback. So this feedback is not meant for going with input output resistances. So we don't bother about these two at all in the positive feedback. Just now we have seen negative feedback increases bandwidth, whereas positive feedback is normally going to reduce the bandwidth. Next important point is the loop gain is not equal to 360 degrees or 0 degrees. In negative feedback, loop gain is not equal to 360 degrees or 0 degrees, whereas in positive feedback amplifier, loop gain should be equal to 360 degrees or at least integral multiple of 2 pi radians. The next is, and the product of loop gain of the amplifier and feedback factor is not is equal to unity, whereas here it is going to be equal to unity. So these are the basic differences which we have, can be called as differences between two amplifiers. So if you write only the negative feedback amplifier side by excluding the if you write all these the negative feedback amplifier points here, it can be called as the features of a negative feedback amplifiers. Okay. Now coming to the advantage of negative feedback, there is only one disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? The gain of the amplifier decreases. Except gain of the amplifier, decreasing gain of the amplifier with negative feedback. If you see, all the rest of the other points are going to be the advantages of the negative feedback amplifier. One more is there, which is a drawback. A beta is not is equal to 1. That is not there, but that is not of concern. This is the condition known as Barkhausen criteria. It required to provide sustained oscillations for the amplifier circuit. So therefore it is basically application for an oscillator, not for the negative feedback amplifier for that matter. So these are the differences which we have, and in next session what we'll do is we'll try to enumerate or elaborate these particular features of the negative feedback amplifiers. Well, thank you very much for the today's session. Please practice all these classes. If you use uh, uh, pen and paper, and if you practice more without seeing the notes or anything else, you should be in a position to derive the final equations. Then only you will be doing good in the exam, because time really matters in the exam. Derivations are going to be big here. So if you practice more, you can derive the derivations at a very faster pace in the exam, so that you can score well in the exam. So thank you very much for today's session.